It is the Steam Winter Sale for 2025, people, and a lot of the best games of 2025 are on discount right now. We have a lot to go over, people. Hello, everybody. It's your boy Jmulls, and let's get some savings. Let's begin with a game that I think a lot of people skipped out on because of how pricey it was at launch. Doom: The Dark Ages is at a steep discount right now. Do you like killing demons? Of course you do. Now, I think if you enjoyed the previous Doom games, chances are you're going to enjoy Doom: The Dark Ages. It does, however, play rather differently. Doom 2016 and especially Doom Eternal were far more focused on evading and jumping around the entire location in order to dodge the enemy attacks and the enemies overall, whereas for Doom: The Dark Ages, the gameplay loop is far more grounded, and I mean that literally. You're not going to be really jumping around the place. Feet will be planted on the ground. You have your Captain America shield with a freaking chainsaw around it. Me bashing demons over their head with a spiked ball on a chain and a whole host of various good weapons to slaughter your foes with. Blood and viscera is going to rain from the sky as if it's mana. And because it is a modern video game, it does have a parry system, but I do think it feels rather satisfying here. And when the gameplay loop really starts to click, my god, you feel like an arbiter of death that is descended upon these petulant demons that need to be put in their place. Doom: The Dark Ages overall is just a really good time, and if maybe you skipped on it because of how pricey it was at launch, well, maybe give it the time of day now. Doom: The Dark Ages is 50% off for $34.99. Want a big RPG to dump a bunch of hours into because we clearly don't have enough of those? Were you a big fan of Skyrim? Well, you might want to give Oblivion Remaster a nod. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was one of the most well-beloved and cherished RPGs of all time. So naturally, it got a remaster, which is really stretching the definition of remaster, by the way. This game looks like it got a complete visual overhaul and looks like it's way more of a remake. However, Elder Scrolls games just have that certain charm to them. Sure, there is a main story, and I think in Oblivion, it is rather interesting. However, let's be fair to ourselves here. Elder Scrolls games are really known for their side content and whole host of various side quests you can go on. I know I put in so many hours back in the day for Skyrim, and you can easily do the same here with Oblivion. If you were a big Skyrim fan back in the day, but, well, let's be fair, it's Bethesda, they're taking forever for Elder Scrolls 6, maybe you want to take a step back in time and go back to the days of Oblivion. Or heck, I mean, if the game just looked good to you, maybe you want to check it out. It's really good value for money, considering it's 33% off for $33.49. Metaphor Refantazio is one of the greatest JRPGs and overall video games that I've ever had the fortune of playing. It is, in my opinion, Atlus's magnum opus, and it's a combination of a lot of the best elements of their game designs across their other series, all brought into one cohesive and enjoyable package. The combat system from Shin Megami Tensei with the press turn system pairs so well with the brilliant customization and progression loop that the game brings to the table with the archetype system that allows each character and party member to still feel as if they have a default playstyle, but allows you to customize them and augment their playstyle to whatever you really want them to be. Paired alongside epic boss fights and really cool dungeons, even if the side dungeons are a little bit nothing to write home about. It's a game of two cohesive halves. The combat's great, don't get me wrong, but so is the story. And the story is far more cutscene focused and also character focused than Shin Megami Tensei, far more in line with Persona, also bringing to the table the social simulator elements that Persona is really known for. However, unlike Persona's high school setting, Metaphor Refantazio elects to have a grand fantasy. You are a candidate for the throne of Uchronia, and you and your merry band of party members must travel the world or continent, performing various deeds to move up in the election. It is an absolutely wild and insane journey from start to finish, with phenomenal cutscenes, amazing voice acting, great pacing, great characters, honestly one of my favorite cast of characters of any JRPG, and that is saying something. I love these characters to death. Great moments of comedy, but they're never really overdone, and when the story needs to be emotional and needs to be, well, focused on what's going on, it does a tremendous job of doing that. Metaphor Refantazio is one of the most unique games I've played, and it's a game where the more I think about it, the more I look back at my playthrough, the more I appreciate it. It is truly a phenomenal game, and in my opinion, Atlus's best work. Metaphor Refantazio is 50% off for $34.99. Let's highlight another gem from Atlus, shall we? Persona 3 Reload is the latest, well, remake of a Persona game from Atlus. This is definitely one of those games where you don't play it because every element is a 10 out of 10, but the elements that are a 10 out of 10 stand the test of time. The characters, the story, the themes that are being presented, the freaking music, dude. Oh my god, the soundtrack to Persona 3 is so dang good, especially for Reload as well. I quite like the new voice acting that Reload brought to the table for P3. The original versions of P3 were always my least favorite VO of the Persona games that I had personally experienced, that being 4, 5, and 3. And I quite like a lot of the changes they made to the combat loop when it comes to Persona 3 Reload. I like the new unique attacks that all the party members get after a certain gauge is filled. And while I think Tartarus is still really slow and tedious, I think the highs of Persona 3 far outweigh the cons. Some of my favorite characters in all of gaming come from Persona 3, that being Aigis and Elizabeth. And while the pacing for the overworld activities definitely starts to drop off a cliff towards the end game, there's still quite a few of the social links that I think are truly memorable, and there's a reason that Persona 3 has stood the test of time. If you haven't played Persona 3, but you have played Persona before and you're a fan of that style, definitely check it out. There is a demo available for Persona 3 Reload, and also Metaphor Refantazio, kind of forgot to mention that. But Persona 3 Reload is available for 55% off for $26.99. And the expansion pass that contains the epilogue episode Aigis is also available. Even if I don't think episode Aigis is all that good, it's 70% off for $10.49.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
Halo the Master Chief Collection is one of the best values in gaming right now. Some of the greatest video games ever made and some of the greatest stories ever told, and you also get Halo 4 right alongside it. Halo the Master Chief Collection comes equipped not only with Halo Combat Evolved, but also Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach, and Halo 4. It has multiplayer alongside all the single-player campaigns from those previously listed games. Incredible writing, incredible map design, incredible enemy design and enemy variety, including weapon sandboxes, some of the best visuals in gaming, some of the best art styles that still hold up all these years later, and you also get Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. If you haven't played Halo before, or you just want another excuse to play it and to relive all those stories of ages ago, the Master Chief Collection is one of the best deals for you right now. Halo the Master Chief Collection is 75% off for $9.99. This is one of those times where I'm going to be recommending a game that I'm actually not too big of a fan of. However, there's a lot of people that do love this game, and the deal right now for it is crazy. Detroit Become Human. It's not going to be a game with a lot of in-your-face gameplay moments. It's a lot of QTEs and a lot of story decisions and branching paths. And if you want a cinematic experience like that, then Detroit Become Human will probably be up your alley. It's all about the theme about whether or not machines are alive and have sentience and stuff like that. And while I'm not too big of a fan in terms of how they portray it, it does have strong characterization and really impactful moments and scenarios. And again, if you love branching paths for stories, you're probably going to really enjoy Detroit Become Human, because it's one of those examples of it cannot be for me, but I can look at something and say, yeah, this is going to appeal to a lot of people, and this is something that is a good overall experience. Detroit Become Human is 90% off for $3.99. For the love of all that is holy in this world, do not allow the Witcher TV show to fool you. The Witcher is one of the best fantasy series out there for gaming. Okay, look, I'll be fair, the first game is not really held up all that well because of how aged it is, but The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 are two of the best RPGs I've ever had the pleasure of playing, for very simple reasons. The story and the immersion factor in the Witcher games is second to none. Phenomenal music. The gameplay's okay, I find it fun personally, though it can be a little bit repetitive and spammy. There is a decent enough of planning you can do, well, like learning about what kind of monster you're fighting, getting the right tools for the job and the right enhancements and all that. The stories though, oh my god, the main stories in both The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 are amazing, but you also get all these side stories and side quests that just make you care about this world and so many characters. Some of the side stories in these games are better than a lot of other games' main stories. They are really high quality, and it's nice how player choice actually is rather impactful for quite a few moments elements in this game as well. It still is a cohesive overall narrative, but you're able to like move it a little bit and mold it based on your own choices. I quite like that. I'll always be looking back at my time with the Witcher games rather fondly. And you can just get the Witcher Trilogy bundle, which includes the first game, The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 3 base game for 88% off for $7.62. Absolutely insane value. If you saw the trailer for Control 2 and went, what the hell is this? Well, it's Mind Screw the Video Game. It's a game that gets very, very, very trippy, but it is in the absolute wildness of the story that you get some really cool gameplay elements. It's kind of, in a lot of ways, the Star Wars like Jedi game I've always wanted, and that I kind of got from some Star Wars games, but this really leans into the idea of having the ability to like move things with your mind and all that. It gets really, really trippy, as I said before. It's not going to be for everyone. However, the deal that it's on right now, I mean, it's pretty insane. Control Ultimate Edition is 85% off for $5.99. Look, if you want to understand why some people were really upset by High God because we just really want Titanfall 3 and you're not entirely sure what the whole deal is, Titanfall 2 is an absolutely incredible FPS campaign. While I haven't played the multiplayer, its single player is a game that I always periodically just come back to because of how fun it simply is. It doesn't really try to do anything new when it comes to its story. It's the giant cool robot and a guy go on a quest together, the story. And it kind of largely is that, but oh my god, one, it's well executed, and two, the gameplay is so dang varied and it's all good. You have this fast-paced, high-flying combat with your pilot, with a whole bunch of weapons that feel so dang fun to shoot, a whole bunch of enemies that are so fun to shoot, and then you get into your Titan, and there's various classes that you acquire over the course of the campaign. It's about the length of like a Call of Duty / Halo campaign. If you're familiar with like the average length for FPS campaigns, it's gonna be somewhere in that ballpark, probably a bit longer than a standard Call of Duty campaign, but there's good mission variety, there's good visual variety, the acting's good, it's just a fun time in a lot of ways. And the level design is also really dang good, and you need good level design when you have this gameplay that is so like based around balancing your movement with the gunplay. There's a reason a lot of games kind of chased that Titanfall combat loop all those years ago and still kind of do. And Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition is 85% off for $4.49. Nier Automata is my favorite game of all time for a very simple reason. There's never been another game that I have personally played that has utilized the medium of being a video game to the degree and quality of Nier Automata to further and tell its story. This is a story, ignore the anime, that changes a lot. This is a story that was designed to be told as a video game. It doesn't shy away from that, it doesn't ignore it, it doesn't want to be a movie, it wants to be a video game first and foremost. And it utilizes dang near every element of being a video game to some way, somehow further the story along. It is brilliant, emotionally complex and engaging characters, an absolutely beautiful, desolate wasteland of a world in all the right ways. Incredible VO, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in the medium. And you know what? Nier Automata isn't alone here. Nier Replicant is a game that, in my opinion, is almost of the same quality. It's just a little bit less refined than Automata, I would argue. However, it has different strengths. I think the characters in Replicant are somehow, this is highly subjective, but like, my god, I think the cast in Replicant is arguably one of the best casts ever assembled in a video game. It's so dang good. The combat in both of these games, very similar. It's that hack and slash, fast-paced combat, Automata being by Platinum, Replicant's not by Platinum, but it's very much in that style. And you get a whole host of, in Replicant, magic abilities and in Automata pod abilities, just for various things to allow you to modify combat in such a way to where you feel like a powerhouse slamming down giant hammers, surrounding yourself in like spears or rotating blades depending upon which game you're playing. It's so dang cool, dude. It's so fun. From top to bottom, these games are incredible. If you have never played a Nier game, I wholeheartedly recommend both of them. Nier Automata Game of the Year Edition is 60% off for $15.99. And Nier Replicant version 0.1.22474487139 is 60% off for $23.99. Oh, Final Fantasy VII, how much I love you. And let me throw my hat in the ring. I think the Final Fantasy VII Remake games are good. Here's why. They lean far more into characterization, and if you are a fan of the modern Square Enix cinematic style of presentation when it comes to their AAA games, there's a lot to love and appreciate from both Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate and also Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's the characters from Final Fantasy VII. They're one of my favorite casts of all time. And you know, I'm saying that a lot this video, but look, a lot of great games are here. And I think Square Enix did an excellent job of bringing these characters back for the remake. And it's paired alongside a combat system that I think is serviceable and pretty dang good in the first remake game, but it really comes to its own when it gets to Rebirth. The synergy skills and abilities, that party-based gameplay, the pairing that Rebirth brings to the table, and also some adjustments to the overall playstyle and flow to a couple key characters when we get to Rebirth really makes the combat system fully stand out, and in my opinion gives it the opportunity to be truly appreciated. What they did with Cloud's gameplay going from Integrate into Rebirth, man, someone cooked here. The most annoying element of Remake was always fighting anything that was up in the air, and in Rebirth, it's way more manageable and enjoyable. Don't let anyone ever tell you, by the way, that Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth aren't complete games. These games are both feature complete, with plenty of side activities to do. Honestly, Rebirth might have too many things to do. These are both really, really big games. And while both games do periodically suffer from a section feeling like filler, I am quite a fan of a lot of the additions that are added to the story and naturally then to the gameplay for both Remake and Rebirth. It's a story that flows from one into the other because, well, it's a trilogy of stories. Final Fantasy VII Remake takes that initial Midgar section from the original Final Fantasy VII and makes it a full game. And what I think Remake is able to do for Midgar as a location, honestly, I love it. A lot of the side characters get way more personality and screen time here, and I just end up caring more about the slums and Midgar overall than I ever did in the original. And then when we get to Rebirth, it takes that world-hopping adventure from the original Final Fantasy VII, where you go into a whole bunch of different locations, and it ends with that scene all the way up north. If you know, you know. So it takes that section from the original Final Fantasy VII and makes it its own game with Rebirth. Neither of these games are perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but neither was the original Final Fantasy VII. And I think if you are willing to give these games a chance, there is something really special here to experience. They have been some of my favorite playthroughs in the last 5 years or so, and if you want to give them a bash, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is 50% off for $19.99, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is 50% off for $34.99. Expedition 33 took the RPG world over by storm, and for very good reason. It is one of the most well put together RPG games I have ever played. It is a truly phenomenal experience from top to bottom, start to finish. Great visuals, use of color and lighting with great characters, absolutely insanely good music, and a turn-based combat system that takes a lot of elements from previous well-beloved turn-based JRPGs and incorporates them into one cohesive package to where just all works and it clicks. The pairing and dodging is really fun. However, the true beauty and genius of this gameplay loop, in my opinion, stems from how even the most basic of trash filler mobs can be really enjoyable and fun, because you get this satisfying progression loop to where you are learning their moves, you're remembering their moves, learning how to counter them, learning what is effective against them, finding different synergies between your party members, and finding more ways to just get more out of the characters you have equipped and in your party. Expedition 33 is a love letter to JRPGs of old, especially the PlayStation 1 era of Final Fantasy. It has that overworld, but it also has fun level design, and it's just an overall experience where if you enjoy the formula of a JRPG, you're going to love Expedition 33. It may not be today's biggest discount, but for a game that in my opinion is rightfully winning a lot of Game of the Years, Expedition 33 is 20% off for $39.99. It's time for the lightning round, people. There's a lot of great games in the last year or two that are on a discount right now. Let's go over them. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is 50% off for $29.99. Stellar Blade is 20% off for $47.99. Digimon Story Time Stranger is 20% off for $55.99. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the remake to Metal Gear Solid 3, is 40% off for $41.99. Trails in the Sky First Chapter, the remake of the original Trails in the Sky, is 25% off for $44.99. That game is incredible. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is 60% off for $15.99. Hollow Knight Silksong 20% off, $15.99. Giant Robot Simulator, also known as Armored Core 6 Pfizer Rubicon, 50% off, $29.99. Ninja Gaiden 4 just came out back in October, 30% off, $48.99. And also Baldur's Gate 3, 25% off, $44.99. May not be the biggest discount, but oh my god, the value there. That game is huge. Back at the Game Awards, they announced a new Old Republic video game, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, and a lot of people were super excited. Knights of the Old Republic, also known as KOTOR, some of the oldest yet also most beloved RPGs, especially for Star Wars. And if you want to find out why so many people were freaking out about Fate of the Old Republic and you want to go back to play the originals, I mean, they're both on sale right now. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is 50% off for $4.99. And Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, 50% off for $4.99. And now here's where you come in. Leave a comment down below with your own recommendations for games that other people should be on the lookout for during the Steam Winter Sale, because I by no means covered everything. And also comment down below with what you're picking up. We just continually add things to the backlog, hoping one day we'll have the time to get through them all, knowing whenever we finish one, we'll throw 5 more onto the pile. There's a lesson to be learned there somewhat. Not sure what the lesson is, I just know there's a lesson there. And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. But now let's look to the future, because Capcom is putting out a new game in April that is already, just from the demo, on my radar for Game of the Year contender for 2026. Pragmata is finally coming, and I played the demo, and it's insanely fun. It's like more addictively fun than you would think it is. At least it was for me. Want to check it out and find out what's going on with Pragmata? You should check out this video right here for more, people. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody, until we meet again!